Hello Gems, Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Today we're here doing an unboxing and review of Jack-O-Lantern Tarot. So this is a low Scarabo deck. The box says 78 spooky and magical tarot cards with instructions. So let's get this package opened. Let's see, I don't think this has one of those little, oh wait, does it? It does. Let's see. Just have to find it. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this does have one of those pull tabs. So I don't have to scare myself with my knife. Okay, awesome. Great. I will use the knife to get this little top open though. There we go. So these boxes really don't hold up. I will have to, I'll have to make a bag, and then I usually keep these. For now I keep them. I don't know. I might end up tossing them, but I keep them in case I ever want to sell them. Okay, so I'm glad it has the little pull tab. That makes it really nice and easy to open. I wish everyone did that when they have this shrink wrap. Okay, so the packaging was pretty easy to open. The durability of the box, not so much. The tuck boxes really don't last. Let's check out the guidebook. So right off the bat, we have a little spread. That's cute. It says, enter into a realm where every day is Halloween. The light of the jack-o'-lantern calls and beckons you forward, leading you into a new realm. Feel the crisp autumn air envelop you as it swirls and turns and whisks you away into a new dimension of self-realization and knowledge and greater insight. The season of the pumpkin is upon us, and you have been given a grand invitation to join the spirits who dance in the time when the veil is so thin that it is nearly invisible. On All Hallows Eve, the boundary between the known and unknown, living and dead, body and spirit falls away, and by the light of the jack-o'-lantern, we are called to burst through and enter into a new realm where anything and everything is possible. Are you afraid to dance in the dark? Or is this but a journey into your shadow self, your subconscious, the things that we forget by the light of day when all is bright and sunny and warm? It is only through darkness that light can shine. It is only in mystery that the most unthinkable can be found. And when we allow ourselves to step into a realm of thought that is open to not only the whimsical, but the deviant, the absurd, the unthinkable, we open ourselves to the larger workings of the universe and the divine in our lives. Boys and ghouls, witches and creatures of the night, the time has come for frights and delights. In your hands you hold the key to a journey through the hallowed halls of your innermost being. May you use it with fun, creativity, and care. Children, beware, there are tricks and treats, so grab a broom and take flight, for All Hallows Eve comes tonight. So it tells you how to use the 5-card pumpkin patch spread found on page 2. It goes into the majors, and the minors. It's probably going to be in multiple languages. Yeah, so that's it. It talks about the art references, which I will read. Giuliano Costa, artist and author of the Jack-O-Lantern Tarot, infused much more than just Halloween lore in the depth of his arcana. The greatest inspiration for the deck comes as a reflection of the relationship between humans, death, and their mortality, seen as a mirror of the relationship between the conscious and the unconscious. Both artistically and philosophically, the source is to be traced to the early German Romanticism and the movement of the Sturm and Drang. The attentive reader will be able to find many references in the cards, especially to artists like C.D. Friedrich, it's hard for me to read that, A. Bocklin, and J.H. Fuseli. All right, so that is the guidebook. The font, let's just do it now because it's here. The font size is not too bad, Not too good. Just, I would say it's all right. Pages feel good considering it's a little white book. Sometimes you get them and they're really, really thin. That's fine. A little see-through, but whatever. I mean, it's just a little white book. And the page smell is interesting. Mine kind of smells like, it kind of smells a little bit like dirt, but not in a bad way. Weird, okay? So that's just the little insert. Let me see if there's two. They're usually, yeah. All right, so let's check out the card backs. The card back is really cute in a spooky little way. I actually have a wiener dog, and when he puts his ears up, we call him a bat rat. So that reminds me of my dog, the little bat rat, and he likes to be up high on things. So yeah, that's cute. All right, let me move these inserts out of the way and let's see. Let's go into the cutting. The cutting feels really good. The corners are round, not roundish. And they do have like a little bit of a sheen to them, not too much. It's not going to be too bad if you're doing video or photo readings. There's no gilding, no edging. They do feel good. They're not too slippery and they're not grippy. There is like a little black bar at the bottom. I'm trying to put fingerprints on it. I don't really see any coming up. Let's check the back. Yeah, these seem to be resistant. I don't know if they're fingerprint proof, but they seem to be resisting fingerprints. I don't see any in person and I don't see any showing up on the camera. Granted, it's my phone, so yeah, but I don't see any fingerprints. Let's check the card smell. So the cards don't smell like dirt. The cards smell a little inky, but it's not overpowering. And I do like the font because on this black little bar right there, it's really easy to make it out. It's a good font size. The dog is funny. The dog's actually biting him. So as I go through this deck, I'll probably be blurting out random thoughts as they come to my mind. Please feel free to mute the video if you don't want to follow along with that. I wasn't too sure what to expect from this deck. I did not watch any walkthroughs or reviews on this deck. I got it as part of Llewellyn's, a sale that Llewellyn was doing. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, this will be cute. My husband's a Halloween baby, so this is kind of reminds me of him. I do really like the imagery in this deck so far. I wasn't too sure if it was going to be like just like really cutesy and Halloweeny, but I really like it. I think the artist did a really good job on this deck. It's very thought-provoking. The owl is heavily themed in this deck. I thought it was going to be more pumpkins. I mean, they're definitely there, but I really like this death card. To me, it kind of looks like she's pushing the torch away and she's using the fire. Looks like to melt the chain. Like they're working together to free themselves. That's kind of cool. I haven't gone through the guidebook. They're not really in-depth descriptions, but it will be interesting to see what they have to say in there. Little snippets here and there. I like how the jack-o'-lantern's faces, you know, like it could be like the light shining through, like the light guiding you. I really like it. It'll be a good fall deck. Oh, wow, look at that hand. It's like the skin is kind of coming off. And I like the clouds, how they're like a face and a pumpkin. Their outfits look like they escaped from the circus. Those look like owl eyes to me back here. Right here. I love his expression. He just looks like he's like so happy and excited. He's like, oh. I like that the art looks old. That is an interesting Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Like, what the heck is that? It's like a big old bat pelvis shrine thing with the pentacle being lowered by the rope. It's like, is it gonna like bring it into existence, like birthing it? That's really neat. What the heck? What is that? Wow. This deck is definitely not what I expected. But I'm pleasantly surprised. I was preparing myself like, okay, like maybe it'll just be like a cute Halloween deck. Hoping it would be a good fall deck. And I was really hoping that I would be able to use it like in serious readings, which I do think it fits that bill. Very interesting. It's a very symbolically rich deck. That's cute. So normally this is like a celebration card, but I feel like this is a bittersweet return, a bittersweet celebration. Like, yes, you have arrived victorious, but at what cost? It's a totally different take than I normally get from the Rider-Waite. I love that with the butterflies on the wands as they're flying. And the snakes and the skulls. Like, this is your opportunity. Opportunity to grow. To transform. Reminds me of Kundalini rising. And then look at this person with this load and the vulture just waiting. I like how the swords are not crossed at her chest. It's a totally different body language. Instead of like having your heart closed off and not wanting to make the decision, I feel like, or having like a decision weighing heavily on her heart, I feel like it's just like something that she's carrying, like resting on her shoulders. Like the decision lies with her. Wait, it's a heavy decision. Similar, but it's different to me. That's weird. How like the hair looks like the heart. It's going to give me a different feeling than I normally get. And this one, like the armor rising up and the skull being there. Armor's just kind of scattered around the room. This is going to be such a fun deck to connect with. Definitely going to take this deck on a date with my Rider-Waite. I like to do that when I'm connecting with one that's really very different in the imagery. I like to sit and put them on a little speed date where I'll shuffle both decks, put them next to each other, and then just cut the decks, and then just go through card by card and come up with like the first two things that pop into my head. Just see how they talk to each other. Oops, I'm off camera. This image actually isn't that bad, especially for some people who don't want to see like the blood or a bunch of swords in a person. This one, it doesn't really look like it's in the person. It almost looks like it's behind the person. It might be in the person's back, but you really can't tell. To me, it kind of looks like it's just behind, and the person's like holding. It's almost like a caressing the vulture. Like to me, she looks like she's embracing the ending. I like that. The way that these court cards interact with the pumpkins, it's a lot more forceful. Like this one has the sword through the pumpkin. This one's like just like clawing and grabbing at the pumpkin, bringing it. Pumpkin's kind of like, oh. This one, her foot's like kind of smashing the pumpkin just a little bit, but not too much. She's looking forward, and so is the vulture. Like in anticipation of what she's going to do. And then here we have the pumpkin up in the sky. Like a little cloud pumpkin. And the butterfly. A very interesting deck indeed. Not what I was expecting at all. Does it have a cohesive theme? Yes, I think it does. There are no renamed cards. There are no extra cards. I don't mind sometimes when the decks make some changes to the names of the cards or the suits. Throw in extra cards, but I think my favorite is when they just leave it alone. Let's see. Are there any blurry or muted cards? Are they clear? Yeah, so it does have like an old vibe, like trying to find one where it's like really prominent. Let's see. Like here, like just like the art style makes it look like it's very old. I don't know if it's done in colored pencil or what, but like you got a lot of shading going on. I think it's done well. So there are no blurry, no muted, nothing is like out of focus. I think if they look, the printing is really nice. The art quality is nice. Does it remind me of a deck that I have? No, it does not. Does it follow the Rider-Waite? For the most part, it does take some liberties for sure, but if you are familiar with the Rider-Waite, you should be able to see that reflected in here. But the symbology, there's a lot of different symbology in here, and I think this would be a good deck to either continue expanding your knowledge of the symbols in the deck, or to bring in, if you already have that knowledge, to bring that in. Is it for newbies? Yeah, if you're familiar with the Rider-Waite, I think you would be good. But again, just like continuing to expand your knowledge. I will have to make a bag for this, and I'll keep it in a bag in my tarot shelf. Who might like it? Obviously, Halloween lovers, people who love the fall, people who are into the symbolism. If you like old style decks, like where the imagery looks like it's from an older time period, I think you would appreciate it. Tarot collectors. Who might not like it? People who don't like nudity probably would not like this deck. People who want it to stick very close to the Rider-Waite might not like this deck. I know I had a couple of clients point out that they did not like some of the way, like it was the Rider-Waite deck. They did not like the way that the guys were dressed in the Rider-Waite. So I can already like hear them here. I can hear them like, you know, talking about these outfits in my head. I could already envision that. That's not a deck I would pull out for those particular clients. If they had an issue with the way that the people were dressed in the Rider-Waite, they're going to have an issue with the way that they're dressed here. Let's see. People who get really spooked out easily, I probably would not pull this deck for them. I think I would choose a different deck. But for the most part, I think that this deck would work with a lot of people. The cardstock is a little bit thin. It's very flexible. I think it's going to shuffle well, so let's do that now. The backs are not reversible. You will be able to tell which way's up, which way's down. That doesn't bother me. These cards shuffle really great right out of the box. I find that with most of Los Scarabeo, whatever, however you say it, Los Scarabos decks, the thinner cardstock shuffles really nice. I'm usually pleased with the shuffleability of the thinner cardstock. It doesn't grip at all. It just, there's really not going to be a break-in period for these. I think right out of the box, it's going to be a pleasure to shuffle and work with. Let's see. I will leave a link in the description if you like this deck and you would like to pick up a copy for yourself. I'm going to go through and find my favorite card, and then we will read the book description for that card so you can see how the book reads, and we'll also do the little spread from the book for a sample reading. So let's see. Let me just give it a couple more shuffles. Okay, let's see. Oh, I was going to do my favorite card. I got a little sidetracked. Okay, let's see. That was a habit. I love the death card for sure. Oh, I do see a thumbprint or something. Yeah, I do see one there. I just like kind of rubbed it out, but it was just one. Okay, there we go. I do have a little bit of a fingerprint right there. It's difficult to see, but if you have sweaty hands, just be advised that you might be able to see some of your fingerprints. There's the bat rat again. Bob, is that you? Let's see. There's actually a lot of cards that I really like in this deck. I really like this card, but this will not be my favorite. All right, let's start to eliminate some of these cards. Wow, this is going to be really hard. I like this card because it shows one of the ships going down. There's a lot of other little symbols in there too, but I really like that. Like this person's juggling too much and like losing your ships. What's going on? It's not going to be my favorite. I do like the Magician. I'm really drawn to the plants. They look like carnivorous plants to me. Some of them also kind of look like a sacred yoni, so like this person would be able to create and destroy. That's not going to be my favorite. I think I'm going to take out the Ace of Pentacles. There's so much going on in these cards. It's really surprising. I think this is going to be one of those decks like the Rider-Waite. Like every time you look at it, you're just going to notice something new, something unfolding for you. Okay, let's see. These are the final 9. Now we're down to the nitty gritty. I really love this whole bottom row here. Love all of these. I really like how it's his internal light that's guiding the way. I feel like he's the one being depicted in the window. I think that's really cool. I love how she's embracing the vulture, but I don't think that's going, or maybe it's a he. I don't know, this person is embracing the vulture, but I don't think it's going to be my favorite. I just realized that the mountain in the back is a skeleton being reflected in the water. Wow. I love his expression. I just think it's like so cute. But I really like these ones more. I do love this death card. But I feel like, oh, I like this one's like triumphing over death. I like how these people are liberating themselves. I think I'm going to go with the devil. That was a really tough decision. Okay, so let's go to the book and see what it has to say about the devil, card 15. What controls you in this life? Do you feel limited, stuck, and perhaps in chains because of a certain person or situation that ultimately seems to lead you down the path of ruin? Perhaps you feel like you are nowhere at all, stuck in one space, enduring burning heat with seemingly no escape. The devil's grasp tries to hold you back with an explosive fury, hell-bent on your limitation. Now is the time to make your escape. Shake off the chains and run free through the smoke and ash, finding a new day. Take time to analyze what is holding you back from your highest self. Remove any and all obstacles to your freedom. Liberate, break free, move on. The time is now. I love that. Oh, I just noticed their tails. So it looks like his tail is the bat and her tail is the owl. And there's just like fires happening all over. The volcano's erupting. It looks like this, what is that? Like a cathedral or a castle that's on fire. Just like, yeah, really cool. But you can still escape. Get the hell out of there. That's what that card is saying. I love it. All right, so let's do a sample reading from the guidebook. There's only one spread in here, so we are going to do What is this called? Pumpkin Patch Spread. The 5-card Pumpkin Patch Spread. All right, let's do it. So it says, journey with the spirit of the jack-o'-lantern from seed to sprout to harvest to work of art, festivity, whimsy, and more. This is a spread for examining the journey of a situation from start to completion, from humble seed to masterpiece. It all starts in the pumpkin patch, and the outcome can be as wicked and spooky or as bright and cheerful as you want. The choice is yours during this great transformation. When I'm shuffling these cards right now, I'm getting a little bit of a weird smell. It all starts with a little seed, but it soon becomes the great spirit of autumn tidings, the mighty jack-o'-lantern. Okay, so let's see. Pumpkin Patch Spread. It's just going to be a sample reading. Let's see. We have card 1, card 2, card 3. Oops, let me scoot my camera out just a little bit. Okay, card 4 and card 5. So that's supposed to look like the jack-o'-lantern's face. That's supposed to be like the eyes, the nose, and then that's the little smile. Move this over here. Okay, so I've never done this spread before. Bear with me. Okay, so card 1, this is the self. This card represents the environment in which the situation is born. Factors that impact to the situation, external sources. We are a product of our environment. What is the energy when you read the room? How does the outside world play into the situation? Okay, so this is the soil. Here we have the Knight of Cups, charging in to bring his message. I'm really drawn to this skull, like his, what is that called? His saddle, how it's like a skull. And the face and the nose. Nose is right by his growing. It kind of looks like his Peter Piper to me. And then we got the owl on his knees and the peacock feather coming out of the, looks like a flaming skull. That's really interesting. Okay, so let's go to the guidebook and read this description for the Knight of Cups. We've got a lot going on here, but I'm most drawn to this. So I'm thinking like romantic message, right? Kind of tying in with what the Knight of Cups really is talking about. But this there's really not much in the guidebook as far as to like the symbols used. You'd have to do your own digging. So it says, it does talk about the suit. So the chalices in this deck provides insight into the heart and emotions. Okay, that's normal. It is traditionally associated with summer, where the leaves and blossoms of the pumpkin patch are in full bloom. These cards are all about matters of the heart, open like a flower in full bloom and reaching like a pumpkin vine to new heights. Okay, so we're just going to consider this a romantic reading because I'm really drawn to the skull. Okay, so for the Knight of Chalices, it says chalice in the book, but we're calling them cups on the cards. A person on a quest for water who seeks to find his emotional healing and balance, filling his cup deeply, so that bounty might one day be shared with fellow with an A, not E, fallow fields. The Knight of Love on a quest for soulmate. So that's how I'm picturing this card. I'm thinking it's like he's on a quest for love, but he's letting his nose lead the way. Okay, card 2, the seed. Looking to grow. What do you want to develop? What are your goals? What is at the core of what you're looking for? This card represents the situation in its most basic and simplified form. When you get down to the core of it all, what's really happening? This is not only the core of the situation, but the promise of what is to come. All right, let's see what comes up for card number 2. King of Wands. The King of Wands I definitely associate with a lot of sexual, fiery, passionate energy. I'm really drawn to this like woman in the back. I haven't really connected with this deck or like really made up my mind how I'm going to interpret it, but I do see that as like reaching up and out, very like, she's like a tree lady walking. So like she's got her roots, but like is it being uprooted? Is she planting them? I don't really know. We do got like our salamander here. I don't know what that thing is over here. The owl slippers or something on his boots. It looks like he's got his feet in the pumpkin. I don't know what these birds are here on his chest. They're like salamander, dragon, lion things up on his throne. There's like, yeah, there's a lot of symbols here. I'm not really too sure what everything means. Salamanders, I definitely see fire, like the dragon lion thing. Okay, fire. Let's go to the wands and see what it says about that suit. Let me find it. Okay, the fire of the jack-o'-lantern. Its light casts shadows of mystery and magic on the wall as our souls take flight to explore the endless possibilities of this All Hallows Night. This is the suit of the soul and spirit. It is the fire inside of you. The wand suit traditionally represents the color and beauty of the springtime, where the sacred pumpkins begin to sprout and grow. It is all about renewal and the fire inside, the bones of our being. Person who bears great spiritual fire that is unmistakable and unabashed, the king of spiritual fire and the soul. That is it. Okay, so I would just consider, what did it say for the seed? Looking to grow, the core of the situation, the promise of what to come. I feel like this knight is going to become the king. I feel like this romance is going to turn into passion. It's going to really take root and it's going to blossom. The sprout, the card of action, expansion, growth, reaching out and spreading your leaves, reaching beyond what you once knew and stretching out into the world toward the light of the sun as yourself or your situation really starts to take form. What does this growth look like? What do you want it to look like? Examine this card with a mind for expansion, progression, and growth. Temperance. I would see this as a kind of like a card of losing your sense of self, losing balance. I would say that this relationship might be a little too heavily focused on looks, on sex, or maybe trying too hard to please the other person. Let's go to the book and see what temperance says. Or pleasing yourself. There comes a time to transfer from one vessel into the next, to shift the balance of our existence and our emotions into new receptacles and new ways of being. Fortunately, we are protected in this process by the angels in our lives who are constantly speaking to us. We need only to listen to the honor and presence of their careful hands, guiding our transitions every step of the way. Go with the flow, explore new ways of existence. Explore new you. The angels are guiding you to your new home and new destiny. Have faith. You are protected. I really don't feel like these descriptions really tie in with the cards. The guidebook it leaves a lot to be desired. Let's continue. I'm just showing you how this deck reads with the guidebook, so I don't really like this guidebook. Let's see. The next one is the harvest. And so the soil and seed grew, and the time came to harvest the pumpkin and pull it from the patch. This card asks, what are you harvesting? What are you reaping from the situation? If the seed card is the cause, then the harvest card is the effect. What is the outcome? What is the end result of the natural progression of the situation at hand? What does it look like? Is it bountiful and ripe, or is it perhaps different from what you had originally anticipated when you planted in the first place? This is all about results. Let's see. The Eight of Cups in the reverse. So the harvest, I would say that this card, you thought it was going to be what you were looking for, but in the end, it's kind of leaving you feeling a bit empty and unfulfilled. Let's go to the book and see what it says for Eight of Chalices, even though it's a cup on the card. Leave behind what no longer serves you. Press onward, pilgrim. May your steps be swift as you make your journey and find a new heart. Move. It's like you need to move on, but you're like just trying to make it work because you thought this was going to be the thing that you were looking for. But in reality, too much based on looks or sex. So the last card in the spread is the Jack-o'-lantern. This is the card of free will. As farmers in the pumpkin patch, we may not always have control over the harvest. It may not be perfect, but it can still be great. After all is said and done and the pumpkin is harvested, you bring it home, you set it down, and you get to carving. This card asks, what action do you take now? The spirit of the jack-o'-lantern is creativity in transition. Okay, so I like that. Whenever I see the jack-o'-lantern now, I'll associate that with like creativity in transition. Interesting. But the one with the fool, like where the light is shining out of his face, I'm going to look at that like his own inner light is leading the way. It means taking what Mother Earth gives us with gratitude and refining, redesigning, and carving out a new purpose, a new form. I love that. Carving out the life we want. Yes. In our very own unique way. Think about your response to this situation. What can you create at this point? Don't be afraid of carving a jagged or haunting face if necessary. When we play in the dark, we become the light. Create, refine, define, and shine. That's really cool. I do like this jack-o'-lantern theme. All right, here we have Knight of Swords in the reverse. Oh, and that's the pumpkin getting like squished and like, oh, getting carried away. Okay. Way up here, I'm drawn to these little scales that are hiding in the clouds. Let me go back to what it says, the free will. Get to carving. What action do you take now? The Knight of Swords. I feel like this would be like, slow down. Are you sure this is really what you want? Like, is this the path you want to go gung-ho down? Because the Knight of Wands, he doesn't mess around. You know what I mean? He's a charger. He's like, no hesitation. He's going to charge in. He's a warrior, and he's fearless. So I feel like this one, like the Knight of Swords, also takes it very fast. He charges in, and this is like, whoa, slow down. Take a chill pill. Just like, don't rush in. Don't be charging. This is really not what you wanted. Causing you this unbalance in your life. Let's see, Knight of Swords. Let's see what it says about that. I don't think it's going to say very much, but we're going to read it anyways. Knight of Swords, a person on a mission to forge the blade of intelligence, in active pursuit of sharpness and wit that will cut at the core of things. The knight of intellectual pursuit and learning. So I feel like you're slowing down. You're learning that this situation is not what you thought it was going to be. And you're going to have to reassess. Your pumpkin that you carved out is one that does not want to be carried on this path anymore. Inside, you know you want to be put down. Not put down like an animal, just like you want to be set down. But if you continue, you may want to be put down. Okay. Well, yeah, this is a deck that I really don't like the descriptions. There are a couple of little tidbits sprinkled in there that I think will help me make sense of the deck, like as far as like the jack-o'-lantern, how to look at the jack-o'-lantern. This deck is going to take some creativity, some imagination, and I have my I have my orange essential oil burning to spark creativity and imagination, and I'm still like not really connecting these descriptions from the guidebook with the imagery. The guidebook kind of sucks. I think they could have done a much better job on the guidebook. I mean, Los Scarabo, and this was distributed by, well, I guess Llewellyn was just his distributor. But I mean, like, how many decks does Los Scarabo make, right? Like, so many. There definitely could have been a little more thought and effort put into the guidebook to make a guidebook that makes sense. I would have paid extra for a kit with a good guidebook. Yeah, the guidebook is really, really sad, and the guidebook doesn't really make sense. It's not really going to help you very much. As I said, there's like a couple of little tidbits sprinkled in there, but other than that, it's pretty useless. So I still like the deck. I still like the imagery. I do think that this deck might be similar to the Rider-Waite, where it takes a long time to really come to understand it and know it. I might put this deck on the back burner. As much as I wanted to start using this deck this fall, I don't think that that's going to happen. I might use it like for myself and just kind of like put Rider-Waite meanings on there, but like, and then reading intuitively with what I see. A little bummed that I'm going to have to wait, but it doesn't mean you have to wait. That's just my own personal preference. But like, let me see if I put like Rider-Waite meanings on it. Let's just do a past, present, future reading and see like if I use this deck kind of like when I first started reading Marseille and I just like slapped Rider-Waite meanings onto the Marseille. Let's see. Doesn't mean you can't read with it. It's just my own personal preference. Like, I just like to know what everything means. It makes me happy. But let's see. Let's just do a past, present, future reading with Rider-Waite meanings and see what comes up. This will be a sample reading for Jane and her career. She just wants insight, a little bit of insight. She doesn't really have any big concerns. She just wants to know what may lie ahead. So Jane's past, present, and future. Let's see. Okay. Jane's past, King of Wands. So I'm going to say in the past, Jane worked for oh, that King of Wands is coming up again. Jane worked for a really hot-headed boss or supervisor, and there was a lot of conflict. It made her feel really well, I guess, yeah. Okay, so Jane's still going to work there. Her boss is very hot-headed and overbearing. He likes to yell and snap at her, give her like a ton of work, and she doesn't really feel appreciated. She feels like she has this heavy load. She needs help. She's becoming very stressed out, and she feels like there's like vultures ready to attack, right? So that's why she got this reading. So I guess she does have an issue, right? And the future, the potential outcome, if Jane continues in this place, I feel like it's going to suck her soul right out. This is not a position that Jane should stay in. I feel like Jane knows in her heart that she needs to rise up and remove herself from this situation. Jane has the skills. She's got the knowledge that she can carry over into another company, into another career. And she does not have to put up with this stuff that is not in her job description. You know, these things, you know, like it's affecting her home life. She's bringing it home. She's like ruminating in her head. These things are just playing over and over. And her boss doesn't care. He's like going home and he's sleeping like a baby. So yeah, Jane, don't see it getting any easier. This will suck your soul. And the cards would be suggesting that you get up and do something about it. So applying the Rider-Waite meanings onto this card deck, I can work with it right away. And that's probably what I will do when I'm first familiarizing myself with this deck. I really like the imagery. I think it's really fun. I like the style. Is this a deck that I would use all the time? No. But I could see myself using it year round. Especially now that I'm going to be looking at the pumpkins, like carving as a way of like carving out your own path. I really like that association. For sure. So this concludes this video. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If there's a deck you want me to review, leave a comment below letting me know which one it is, and I'll try to get my hands on that. You can support my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if you would like to book a reading with me or come do yoga with me, please visit my website, redemeraldyoga.com. See you soon. Bye, gems.